The elevator doors slid open with a soft ding, and there I was, stepping into the glittering lobby of the Sterling Tower in downtown Chicago. My heels clicked against the marble floor, echoing like a declaration of war. But before I could take more than 3 steps toward the grand staircase leading to the rooftop gala, my brother's voice sliced through the air like a knife. "Emma, what the hell do you think you're doing?" I turned slowly, meeting his gaze. Ryan stood there, tall and impeccably suited, his wife Lila beside him in a shimmering gown that screamed old money. The security guard shifted uncomfortably nearby, pretending not to listen. "I'm heading to the party," I said calmly, my voice steady despite the storm brewing inside. "The one you invited me to, remember?" Ryan's lips curled into that familiar smirk. The one he'd perfected over years of boardroom battles. "Invited? Sure. But you know the rules. Non-employees use the service entrance. It's policy." Policy. The word hung there, heavy with unspoken disdain. I could feel the eyes of a few lingering guests on us, their whispers starting to buzz. My parents were probably already upstairs, toasting with the city's elite, oblivious or uncaring. This wasn't new, being sidelined, diminished. But tonight, something in me snapped. Or maybe it had been cracking for years. Let me take you back, though not too far. Because every story like this builds on a foundation of quiet hurts. I'm Emma Hayes, 32, the youngest in a family that built Hayes Realty from a single rundown apartment building into a powerhouse controlling prime Chicago real estate. My parents, Victoria and Daniel, had always seen me as the delicate one, the girl who should stick to softer pursuits. "Real estate's cutthroat, Emma," my mom would say, her voice laced with that patronizing concern. "Why not focus on something creative? Like design?" So I did. Sort of. I got my degree in graphic design, hustled through freelance gigs, and eventually clawed my way into a solid job at a boutique ad agency. Meanwhile, Ryan was the golden boy, shadowing Dad at open houses, sealing deals before he could shave. I remember the day he closed his first $1 million sale. I showed up at the office with a bottle of cheap champagne, my budget back then, and he barely glanced up from his desk. "Thanks, sis. Just leave it with reception." Lila, his then-girlfriend, now wife, was reorganizing his files. She looked me up and down, her perfectly manicured nails tapping impatiently. "Emma, sweetie, we're kind of busy here. Big client meeting." Busy. Always busy for me. The slights piled up like unpaid bills. At family dinners, business talk flowed freely until I chimed in with an idea, maybe a fresh branding strategy for one of their listings. "That's cute, Emma," Ryan would say, chuckling. "But leave the real stuff to us." Dad would nod. Mom would change the subject to my dating life or lack thereof. Even the little things stung. No reserved parking spot for me at the Sterling Tower, their flagship property, while Ryan had a plaque with his name in gold. I'd pay the visitor rate every time, grumbling to myself in the garage. And the elevators? God, the elevators. The first time I tried the main one during a visit, Lila caught me in the lobby. "Oh, Emma," she called out, loud enough for the doorman to hear. "Family outsiders use the back one. Keeps things professional." I argued once, but Dad backed her up. "Just humor them, kiddo. It's not worth the fuss." So I humored them, riding up with delivery guys and maintenance crews, my resentment simmering like coffee left on the burner too long. Then came the favor that should have been a red flag. Ryan pulled me aside after Thanksgiving dinner 2 years back, his arms slung around my shoulder like we were best buds. "I've been following your design work. Impressive stuff." The compliment caught me off guard. Praise from Ryan was rarer than a cheap condo in the Loop. "Thanks," I muttered, Suspicious. He leaned in, lowering his voice. I've got this side hustle brewing. A tech app for real estate flips. Needs seed money, but don't want to tap the family till it's proven. 20 grand should do it. Pay you back in 6 months. With interest. My gut screamed no, but that old craving for family approval won out. I wired the money the next day, dreaming of the day he'd thank me properly. 6 months turned to 12, then 18. Excuses poured in, market dips, coding delays, investor hiccups. I stopped asking after a while, writing it off as a lesson in blood ties. All the while, I was forging my own empire in the shadows. My design skills morphed into a full-blown digital branding firm, specializing in luxury real estate. I started small logos for indie brokers, social media campaigns for flippers. But word spread. Soon, I had clients from Miami to Seattle, including, ironically, Hayes Realty. They dealt with my VP, never knowing I was the brains behind the ads that boosted their listings by 40%. I kept it quiet, savoring the secret like a hidden stash of chocolate. Then fate, or maybe karma, stepped in. At an industry conference in Vegas, I met Alex Thorne, a sharp VC with a knack for spotting undervalued gems. We bonded over bad hotel coffee and killer pitch decks. Your branding flips properties faster than any Reno, he said. Months of mentorship followed, and when he tipped me off about a distressed asset in Chicago, my world tilted. It's the Sterling Tower, Alex explained over Zoom. Owners are bailing due to mismanagement. With smart tweaks, it could double in value. My heart stopped. Sterling was Hayes Realty's HQ, the jewel in our family's crown. No way, I whispered. My family owns that. Alex frowned, checking his notes. Records show it's under Lakeside Holdings for the last 8 years. The revelation hit like a freight train. I dug deep, hiring a PI to peel back the layers. Turns out, the 2008 crash had gutted my parents' finances. They'd sold quietly to Lakeside, leasing back to save face. Late payments were stacking up, eviction looming. Ryan's side hustle loan, probably a desperate patch for the leaks. Rage and pity warred inside me. They'd lied to everyone, including me, while treating me like the failure. I didn't confront them. Instead, I acted. Through a shell corp, Summit Ventures. I bid and won $15.2 million, backed by Alex's network. The deal closed under the radar. Suddenly, I own the tower, collecting rent from my own kin via proxies. For 18 months, I played the game, building my firm to a $4 million valuation, investing in trendy spots like the Ember Lounge and Harbor Bistro. My net worth climbed, but to my family, I was still the artsy sister scraping by. I hired Sarah Kim as my right hand, confiding everything. Why not spill it, she'd ask. Because timing is everything, I'd reply. The pressure built, slow and steady, until that gala night when Ryan's policy pushed me over the edge. Back in the lobby, Ryan's words echoed, his face flushed with that entitled certainty. Lila smirked beside him, clutching her clutch like a shield. The small crowd of guests pretended to check their phones, but I knew they were soaking it in. Come on, Emma, Ryan pressed, his voice dropping to that condescending whisper. Don't make a scene. The service elevator's right there. I felt the heat rise, not from shame, but from the dam finally cracking. Years of swallowed pride bubbled up, but I held it together, turning on my heel toward the back hall. The janitor loading mops gave me a pitying glance as I punched the button. In the dim, rattling car climbing to the roof, alone with the hum of cables, clarity hit. This wasn't just about an elevator. It was about being erased, reduced to a footnote in my own life story. The rooftop doors opened to a sea of twinkling lights and laughter. The Hayes annual gala was in full swing, string quartet playing, champagne flowing, Chicago's skyline as a stunning backdrop. I smoothed my emerald dress, simple but elegant, and stepped into the fray. Relatives and associates mingled, clinking glasses. Mom spotted me first, air-kissing my cheek. "Emma, darling, you made it. We were wondering. Would you have missed me?" I asked softly, the words slipping out sharper than intended. She blinked, then waved it off. "Don't be silly."
Oh.
"Look, the mayor's here. Must chat."
Poof. Gone.
I grabbed a flute from a tray, drifting to the edge where the city sprawled below. The wind tugged at my hair, carrying snippets of conversation, deals closing, expansions planned, all without me. "Impressive view, isn't it?" The voice belonged to Mr. Ellis, our family attorney, nursing a scotch. He'd been with us forever, privy to every secret. "It is," I agreed, not turning. He leaned on the railing. "Your brother's quite the host tonight." Across the deck, Ryan was regaling a group with some tale, gestures wide, laughter booming. "He loves the spotlight," I said dryly. Ellis nodded. "Some chase illusions so hard they forget what's real." Our eyes met, a silent understanding passing. He knew about the tower, had likely papered the sale years ago. "Reality catches up," I murmured. He clinked his glass to mine. "If you need counsel, off the record, call me." Before I could probe, Ryan's voice crackled over the speakers. "Ladies and gentlemen, a moment please." The crowd hushed as he took center stage, Lila beaming at his side. "Thank you for joining us to celebrate another banner year for Hayes Realty." Applause rippled. "We've got big plans ahead. Expansions into the suburbs. New partnerships." He paused, grinning. "But personally, Lila and I have even bigger news. We're expecting a little boy, due in spring." Cheers erupted. Mom rushed up, hugging them, tears glistening. Dad beamed from the sidelines. "To the future," Ryan toasted. "To the fourth generation of Hayes leaders." More claps. Then his eyes found me. "And let's not forget my sister, Emma, here tonight." Head swiveled. I stood tall, expression neutral. Emma's always been our wild card. Tried her hand at design. I think, small gigs here and there. Chuckles. "We keep her around, let her sneak in the back way." Laughter grew uneasy. Because family's family, even the ones who wander off path. The toast fell flat, the air thick with awkwardness. Mom frowned. Dad avoided my gaze. I set my glass down and walked to the service elevator, unchallenged. That night, in my cozy Wrigleyville apartment, I stared at the deed on my laptop. Summit Ventures. Mine. The wait was over. Next morning, I texted Sarah, "Meet at my place." Plan time. She arrived with coffee, eyes wide as I laid it out. Gather everything: Hayes rent history, late notices, our branding contracts with them, results, invoices, and my personal stuff, texts, emails showing the dismissals. She nodded. "What about the loan to Ryan?" "Include that too." "Unpaid after all this time." We spent weeks compiling a dossier, screenshots of group chats where Ryan mocked my hobby career, ignored emails with my ideas, bank transfers for the $20,000, and proof of my success, client raves, profit sheets, investment portfolios. I consulted a new lawyer, S. Patel, specializing in family biz disputes.
"This is solid," she said.
But revelation's a bomb. Detonate wisely. The bomb site? Ryan's surprise 40th birthday bash at the Sterling penthouse. Invites went out fancy.
Black tie.
I RSVP'd yes. Heart pounding. That evening, I arrived in a sleek black gown, hair swept up, feeling like a warrior. Lobby again, Ryan and Lila greeting guests. Emma, he said, spotting me heading for the main elevator. Service way. Remember? This time. I smiled.
No.
Ryan. Not tonight. He stepped forward. Voice low. Don't embarrass us. I held his gaze. The only embarrassment here is how you've treated me. Guests murmured. Dad approached. Emma.
Please.
Not now. I shook my head. Actually, now's perfect. Upstairs. The party pulsed, jazz band, caterers, toasts flowing. I bided time, mingling, until Ryan clinked his glass for a speech. Friends, family, thanks for celebrating. Hayes Realty's stronger than ever. And with our boy on the way, the legacy continues. That's when I stepped forward, dossier in hand. Before we toast, a clarification. The room stilled. Hayes Realty doesn't own this tower. Hasn't for years.
Gasps.
Ryan laughed nervously. What are you talking about? I opened the folder, projecting docs via my phone to a screen. Sold in 2015 to Lakeside. Leased back. Late payments piling up. Murmurs grew. And the new owner? I paused. The damning building.
Me.
Summit Ventures is mine. I've owned it for 18 months. Silence exploded into chaos. Ryan's face drained of color. Liar. I showed the deed. Check the records. Mom clutched Dad's arm. Lila whispered furiously. Guests whispered. Some slipping out.
Why?
Ryan demanded. Revenge. No, I said softly. Recognition. You've dismissed me forever.
Now.
See what I've built. The penthouse air thickened with shock, the jazz band faltering to a stop as my words hung like smoke. Ryan's glass slipped from his hand, shattering on the tile, mirroring the fracture in our family's facade. This is bullshit, he spat, lunging for the projector remote. But guests were already pulling out phones, verifying. Whispers turned to outright chatter. She's right. Lakeside sale. Summit Ventures. Lila's perfect makeup couldn't hide her pallor. She gripped Ryan's arm like a lifeline. Mom's eyes welled. Dad looked like he'd aged a decade in seconds. I stood there, heart hammering, but voice steady. I've got the proof. Late rents. Ignored ideas. That unpaid loan. I flipped through slides, texts, emails, bank statements. The room absorbed it. Judgment shifting. One uncle, tipsy from bourbon, blurted.
Damn. Girl.
You played the long game. Nervous laughs broke the tension. Ryan rounded on me. You spied? Schemed behind our backs. No more than you've diminished me, I countered. Service elevators? Charity case? That's your game. He faltered, glancing at Lila, who avoided his eyes. Dad stepped forward. Voice hoarse.
Emma. How?
Hard work, I said. My firm's worth millions. Investments in hotspots like Ember and Harbor. And when Alex tipped me off, I saw opportunity. Guests nodded, some impressed, others uneasy. A business associate clapped slowly. Hell of a pivot. Ryan stormed off to a corner. Phone out. Probably calling Ellis. The party dissolved. People hugged Mom awkwardly, murmuring condolences or congrats. As the crowd thinned, Sarah texted, "How's the fallout?" I replied, "Atomic, but necessary."
Outside.
Cool Chicago wind whipped my dress as I waited for my car. Ryan burst out. Alone. You happy now? Ruined my birthday. It wasn't about you, I said. It was about truth.
He scoffed.
Truth? You've been plotting revenge. Investment, I corrected. And if anyone's plotting, it's you with my money still unpaid. His eyes narrowed. Consider it seed for my new path. I'm out of haze. Starting solo. I searched his face. Anger. But maybe resolve. Good luck. Ryan. Mean it. He turned away. Don't need it from you. Sarah joined me in the car. Intense. Understatement. I laughed weakly. We headed to Ember Lounge. My stake there ensuring a quiet booth. Over steaks and wine, I decompressed. To owning your narrative, Sarah toasted. I clinked. To whatever comes next. Morning brought the storm. My phone exploded. LinkedIn follows skyrocketed. Emails from biz journals requesting interviews. Texts from cousins. Badass move. And one from dad at 4:12 a.m. Boardroom. 11 a.m. Family only. I arrived sharp. In a power suit. Using the main elevator. Robert the guard nodded respectfully. MS. Hayes. In the boardroom, parents waited with Ellis and, surprisingly, Lila. No Ryan.
He's processing, Dad said.
Ellis clarified. Neutral facilitator here. We dove in. Your acquisition. Impressive, Dad admitted gruffly. Praise from him?
Rare.
But the reveal? Hurtful. So was years of dismissal, I replied. Mom sighed. Let's focus forward. I slid over the new lease. Market rate. 12% hike. Fair. They scanned. And the board's seat? Dad noted the clause.
Yes.
I bring value branding. Investments. Lila bristled. You're not real estate. I own this tower. I shot back. That's qualification. Silence. Dad nodded. We'll review. Personally. Terms seem reasonable. As others left. Mom lingered. I've never gotten you.
Emma.
Always so independent. And that's bad. Hard to guide, she said. Ryan fit the mold. You didn't. You never asked my mold, I pointed out. She paused. Maybe a mistake.
Weave.
Underestimated. Closest to sorry she'd get. I touched her hand. We can rebuild. She nodded faintly. Alone after. Skyline view soothing. I texted Sarah. Progress. Weeks blurred. Board-approved lease and my director role. Ryan resurfaced. Proposing to buy into my firm. Integrate into my new venture. Skeptical. I countered with phased buyout. 25% now. Rest over years. He agreed. Earning trust, he said. Visibility surged speaks. Profiles. A mag called me Chicago's silent mogul. I embraced it cautiously. One night, parents invited dinner. Neutral talk, books,
Trips.
Then Dad presented Grandpa's old pocket watch. For the true entrepreneur. Emotion choked me. Thanks. Mom squeezed my hand. Proud.
Emma.
Belatedly. Placing it home. I reflected. From backdoor girl to boardroom force. Self-belief triumphed. The watch ticked softly on my nightstand that evening. A rhythmic reminder of legacies reclaimed. I lay awake. Replaying the dinner, the tentative warmth in Mom's eyes. Dad's gruff nod of approval. It wasn't a fairy tale reconciliation. No tearful hugs or profound apologies. But in our family, where emotions hid behind balance sheets and contracts, it was a start. The city lights flickered through my blinds, Chicago's pulse matching my own. I'd built this life brick by brick, away from their shadows. And now those shadows were shifting, making room. But doubt lingered. Was this genuine change? Or just damage control? Only time would tell. Next day, my first board meeting as director loomed. I arrived early, coffee in hand, riding the main elevator like it was mine because it was. The boardroom smelled of polished wood and fresh agendas. Ryan was there. Surprisingly, seated opposite. Emma, he nodded curtly. No warmth, but no venom. Progress? The meeting kicked off with updates. Listings up, but competition fierce. When branding came up, eyes turned to me. Digital refresh could boost leads 30%, I suggested. Sliding mock-ups. Silence. Then Dad, solid. Let's explore. Ryan added. Tie it to my app idea? Collaboration? Who was this guy? Post-meeting. He lingered. About the firm buy-in. Thanks for the terms.
Prove yourself, I said.
He smirked faintly. Will do. Life accelerated. My firm hummed. Sarah handling ops while I juggled tower management, HVAC upgrades, lobby renos. Investments paid off. Ember's reservations booked solid. Speaking gigs rolled in, from outsider to owner at a women's biz summit. On stage. Spotlights hot. I shared snippets, not the drama, but the grit. Believe in your path. Even if others don't see it. Applause thundered. Questions flew. One woman, how do you handle family backlash? With facts and boundaries, I replied. Off stage. A reporter cornered me. Rumors of Hayes' family feud? I smiled. We're evolving. Privacy mattered, not everything was fodder. Family dinners resumed. Awkward at first. Topics skirted business. Dipping into personal, my dating dry spell. Ryan's ultrasound pics. Lila softened. Sharing pregnancy woes. Hormones are hell. I laughed. Try building an empire solo. A shared glance, maybe mutual respect budding. One evening, post-dinner, Ryan pulled me aside. That loan. Wiring repayment tomorrow. Appreciated, I said.
He paused.
And,
sorry.
For the dismissals. Stunned. I nodded. Accepted. Not effusive, but real. Months passed. The tower thrived under my tweaks. Hayes, realty stabilized. My input valued. At a charity gala, ours. Ironically, Dad introduced me. My daughter. The visionary behind our rebrand. Pride swelled. Later, alone on the roof. Wind whispering. I reflected. The service elevator days felt distant. A chapter closed. But scars remained. Reminders to guard my worth. Ryan's new venture launched, integrating my firm smoothly. Employees thrived, Sarah promoted. He even invited me to the launch party as guest of honor. Couldn't have done it without your foundation. Toasts raised. I felt closure. Not perfect, but family. As the launch party's lights dimmed, glasses clinking in farewell, I stepped into the night, Chicago's hum enveloping me. Ryan's venture was off to a strong start. My phase sell-off ensuring continuity. But walking to my car, a quiet satisfaction settled. Not from the success, but the journey. I'd transformed from the overlooked sibling to a force, rewriting our dynamics.
Yet,
questions lingered. Could trust fully mend? Would old patterns resurface? Life's no neat bow. It's ongoing negotiation. Back home. The watch caught lamplight.
Ticking steadily.
I poured wine. Scrolling messages. Congrats from Alex. A thumbs up from Sarah. Then a text from Mom. Dinner Sunday? Your place. I smiled. Sure. Small steps. But meaningful. Sunday came. Aromas of roast filled my apartment. Parents arrived. Dad with wine. Mom with pie. Ryan and Lila too. her bump prominent. Talk flowed. Baby names. Tower updates. My next investment. No barbs.
Just dialogue.
As we ate, Dad raised a glass. To family redefined. We clinked. Warmth spreading. Post-dinner. Cleanup chatter turned deep. We failed you, Emma, Mom admitted softly. Pushed you aside. Water under, I said. Ryan chimed. I was an ass. Jealous. Maybe. Lila nodded. We all were blind. Vulnerability hung. Healing in its rawness. Forward, I suggested. They agreed. In ensuing months, bonds strengthened. I mentored Ryan on branding. He shared realty insights. Board meetings became collaborative. My life balanced. Firms sold fully. Focus on Tower and new ventures, a boutique hotel chain. Dating? A prospect emerged. A fellow entrepreneur met at a conference. Early days, but promising. One crisp morning, atop the tower, city awakening below. Peace washed over. I'd claim my space, not through vengeance, but valor. The main elevator? My default. As I descended, phone buzzed. Sarah, ready for the day? Absolutely, I replied. The doors opened. I stepped out. Head high. What lingered wasn't triumph's echo, but a quiet query in reclaiming power. Had I freed us all, or just begun? Life's stories unfold, one floor at a time.